Yes, you guys, welcome back to another News Daily video. I hope your days are going very well because with the stories today, we have three big stories to discuss and break down. With the first one, we've just learned who our new Player of the Year winner is, and that is none other than Mason Mount. Fully deserved. Hear my thoughts and opinions behind his win. And for the other two stories, we all know that this summer we are in serious business to sign a big name marquee signing up front. And we have some breaking news surrounding Harry Kane and LUKAKU. So, you guys, this summer's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy. I hope you guys enjoy. Show your support by smashing that like button, interact in the comments below. And before we continue on, as we know right now, our new home season kit for next season is currently out right now. Now, already you guys can see I've got the new home shirt as well as getting the goalkeeper shirt as well, which, you guys, it fits nice, it fully bangs. Like when you have this in person actually wearing it, it is a lot better. Like this is already starting to grow on me, I can't lie to you. And for anyone interested in wanting to cop their merch right now, I'm your plug. In the description below, you'll find all the right affiliate links to take you to your destination. And don't forget, if you use them, use my discount code NINI10 to get a full 10% off your final order, you guys. So if you want to look as good as me, you guys know what to do. And without wasting any more time, let's start things by discussing the latest news surrounding Mason Mount. Now, the breaking news for this morning was officially announced by the club's website, and that was that Mason Mount is our new Player of the Year for this season. He becomes the first player from the academy to be given the awards since John Terry back in the 2005-2006 season. And to be honest, was there really anyone else that was going to challenge Mason for the honours this season? I don't think so. This season though, after he's become more acclimatized in the Premier League, after he's grown his physique. I mean, you look at Mason's body this season compared to last season, you know, Mason looked like he was like 18, 19 years old. He's fully grown, fully matured right now, and fully knows how to use his body in the Premier League too. If you look at how he shields the ball, for me, he's one of the best at doing that. And we already know when it comes to his half turns, he's already one of the best in the Premier League at doing that. On top of this all, you guys, it's the complete game that Mason's showing. In football today, how many complete players do you see that you could basically play in any position on the field and they're still going to play to their very best? It doesn't happen. This season already, we've seen Mason Mount playing as a false 9, as a number 10, as a wide playmaker, in the pivot, in a 3. He's playing all these roles to a very, very high level. He has incredible tactical understanding, incredible work rate, and of course, incredible technique as well. But for me, as I said, the most promising thing has been his ability to take the game by the scruff of its neck, to take responsibility, to make things happen. And we've seen that time and time again. Hence the goals in the Champions League versus Porto and Real Madrid, you know, scoring in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. We've seen him produce comebacks for us against West Brom, get match winners for us against Fulham, scoring incredible goals as we saw against Liverpool too. This is a player that will only grow, only get better. And for all the naysayers and doubters that solely judge his entire game based on not seeing him play in the academy, seeing him play at Vitus or out on loan, not really knowing anything about his game, and solely basing their judgments on what they saw last season. All I can say is, learn from this, don't make the same mistake again, and make sure that you get educated, yeah? Because we cannot have another situation like this where a homegrown academy player gets vilified by its own fan base, gets discredited. Nah. We can't be doing that. It don't run. Mason Mount, fully deserved, the first of many more. And right now, we now move on to the big story today, you guys. And let's discuss the striker situation for this summer. Now, I think I'm going to start by discussing the latest news surrounding Harry Kane. I was tossing and turning between discussing Lukaku first or Kane, but I think I'm going to start with Kane first. Now, Mr. Matt Law released some big breaking news, and he discussed that Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham at the end of this season. So, now that we know that Kane has announced his intentions to leave Tottenham, what club exactly will he sign for? At this point in time, there are 4 clubs in the running. That's Paris Saint-Germain abroad. And in the Premier League, that's Man United, Man City, and of course us. Now the news is that Harry Kane does not want to leave the Premier League, he wants to remain here. Of course, he's already in London, he has a very young family, It could be very easy for him. It could make a lot of sense if he was to, make that step across London to sign for us and, keep his whole life within London. However, that does seem a bit far-fetched, We've seen with Tottenham over the years. When it comes to doing business, nothing seems to happen. Only last summer we stopped Rudiger from signing for them, and at the same time Rudiger himself was not really too keen on, potentially just tarnishing his reputation with the fan base to sign for rivals. We go back even further, you guys, let's not forget the Luka Modric saga. We came extremely close. We had Modric doing his best to try and force the move to happen, yet Tottenham and Levy did not budge, and in the end they accepted a move to Real Madrid for less money just to make sure that he didn't sign for us. Now, can I really imagine Harry Kane potentially just destroying his legacy and reputation in the modern game today with how you have social media where you become a meme just like that, where people are gonna let you know every single day how they feel about you, how they think about you. And when you've got like a young family too, who needs that stress in their life in times like this? So obviously, is Harry Kane going to be a striker we can really sign? No. And regardless of the fact that we have the money to make this happen, everyone knows we have money for a big name forward, it seems like it doesn't really work out for all interested parties. I mean, right now we know that Kane is 27 years old. When players get to this stage of their career, they want trophies, they want a legacy to look back on. But if any club wants Harry Kane, Levy has slapped on a 150 million price tag if you want to sign him, which is crazy money. Of course, Kane's contract does expire in 3 years' time, so Spurs are entirely justified to slap any valuation on his head. But I think right now, you guys, I want to start to give my thoughts and opinions behind the story. Now, of course, Kane knows that he would be leaving Spurs at a bad time, but it is the right time for him to leave, to push on now, because lots of big clubs are in the market to make a big money signing. As I was saying, I see City and United being the front runners. I just don't see it happening. I don't think we're going to spend that money. I don't think Kane wants to ruin his rep. You guys heard my thoughts and opinions beforehand. But on top of that as well, I also think from a tactical point of view, would Kane make as much sense? Because here's how you have to see it. With how he plays at Spurs right now, with how he has developed his entire game, he now drops deeper, he links up the play, he starts attacks, he gets on the end of the moves he creates, and of course that can work with us, but for it to work with our current squads and setup, you need to have players with pace playing alongside him, because Kane's not creating that space for some slow coach to run into. You need to exploit that. And after this season, when we've seen the struggles from our wide forwards and your Werners and other wide players as well who haven't been getting on the score sheet as much, it feels like that would be a lot of responsibility to place on a front three, and I don't think we could solely rely on Harry Kane to exclusively get the goals. What I think we need is kind of like that combination between both a Tammy Abraham and a Timo Werner. We need a striker that has the pace to run in behind, that can stretch defenses and give us that counter-attacking presence. But at the same time, this striker has to be able to hold the ball up, hold up a defender, challenge the balls in the air as well, drop deeper, and of course, challenge with 50-50s on goal as well. So for me, players like your Haalands and your Lukakus make more sense for the squads, because they're the focal points that you can really play to, and I think it will complement the rest of the players we already have in the squad right now. So honestly, on paper, I don't think it works out for all parties. I think that the good news is at least that a big club in this country won't be going after a Lukaku or Haaland now, because it seems like Kane is more realistic. That is good news for Chelsea fans, and I think right now, you guys, we're now going to end things with a final report, and we have some more updated, latest news surrounding Romelu Lukaku. Now, you guys, remember those reports suggesting that Lukaku is rejecting us outright? I told you in that video, this is premature. Give it some time, things will change. Now, right now, I'm going to give you guys a quick recap behind what's happening at Inter Milan, and currently, the future of Antonio Conte is now in doubt. Now, is it his fault entirely? Of course not. The reality is that COVID has really impacted Inter Milan's finances heavily, and at this point in time, Inter are more inclined to sell assets to raise much needed funds to help the club out. And if you're Antonio Conte, you're constantly in positions where you're winning the silverware for these clubs, yet when you want to push on, when you want to reinvest in the team to take the team to the next level, to be ready to challenge in all fronts, there always seems to be something that is stopping that from happening. And the reality is, if Conte decides to leave because he's had enough, reports have been saying Lukaku will definitely leave because Conte is the main reason why he signed for Inter Milan in the first place. Now, reports are saying that if Lukaku is forced to leave Inter, he still has a place in his heart for us. But not only that, you guys, we got some more news from another journalist telling us that we have already been making contact for Lukaku, and if any club wants to sign him, Inter Milan have placed an 80 million valuation on his head, which is, wow, that's like nearly half less than what it would take to sign Haaland. And when you break down 80 million to convert that to pounds, that's around 68 to 69 million. So for one of the best strikers in the world, that is incredible value. Right now, you guys, I think it's best that I give my thoughts and opinions. The fact that Inter Milan have placed a valuation under 100 million, I think that really tells us just how dire their financial situation is. I think what they'd expect from a club that wants to sign Lukaku is for them to pay most of that money up front, preferably in one go or in, 2 seasons at least, so Inter can get, the much needed funds straight to the account right now. If that's the case, I feel like we have to keep putting more pressure. We have to keep going through it. The fact that Dortmund have secured Champions League football, which really annoyed me, because if they didn't get it, I guarantee you that Haaland would most definitely be leaving. Of course, there's still time to make something happen, but right now, Dortmund don't really want to sell. Haaland can stay for another year. He's with his guys. He's in a very exciting club, and he knows that the rest of Europe is still going to be after him next summer. But I guess for us, we're not in a situation where we can afford to wait for another season. So we want to look for the best possible option in the market, and that potentially could be Romelu Lukaku. I mean, naturally, of course, we're going to have contact with these players. We know when we signed your Werners and Ziyechs that we had contact with them and their agents months and months before we even got close to signing them. So, Lukaku knows we're interested. He's always known that. But I do feel like, this time if we're really serious about him, we have to really do right by him. I felt like this was a player that should have been with us throughout his entire career already. We never had to sell him. We had to just have patience for him. Unfortunately, we keep targeting short-term success over potentially waiting even 1 season or 2 just to, grow a team that is ready to fully be ready to go on all fronts. But I guess once this season ends, we're going to get answers behind whether the club's approach is the correct one, or if maybe going after these short-term goals doesn't really lead to anything at the end, you guys. But you guys know that if you sign Lukaku, you're signing a player that already has experience playing in the Premier League. He scored over 100 goals. At Inter Milan, he's made that 250 all-time career goals, and you know that he's a guy that's going to get past 300, 350, and he's in the prime of his career now. Let's see if we can make it happen. He'd be the guy I'd target because I think Haaland's too impossible right now, and I think he would suit and complement the rest of the team. So you guys, that is the latest news stories today. Make sure you guys interact and comment below, and of course don't forget, in the description you'll find all the relevant information if you're interested in buying any of the new home season shirts. So on that note, I'm the FC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later. Cool.